You might be wondering, Kenzie, isn't this supposed to be a how to practice video? Well, yes. Yes, it is. Okay, somebody has to admit it. Practicing can be so boring, but it can also be really, really fun. You just don't know it yet. Today, I will be talking about my 5 personal favorite tips and tricks and skills that I use in the practice room or just in my bed as a vocal student during a regular practice session. Tip number 1 is spend 15 minutes a day engraving the skill in your brain. Don't worry, the title isn't as long as you think. I know everybody reading this is like, come on, 15 minutes? Chill out, my man. Chillax. This is a safe space for you and I, and if you're lazy like me and you like to read, this will come in handy. Trust me. First, take out your music and read through it. Music theory is another language that you know how to speak, because believe it or not, reading the score a few minutes will change so much about the way you perform in the future. Take 5 minutes to read the score thoroughly. Take 5 minutes to listen to it, whether it's an audio recording or a YouTube video. Find the piece, listen to it a couple of times. In the last 5 minutes, to analyze the score, divide it into chunks. Highlight parts that you might find difficult. As author Daniel Coyle says in the Little Book of Talent, watch the skill being performed closely and with great intensity over and over until you build a high-definition mental blueprint, which leads to mental representations. This is how you create a mental representation. According to Ericsson and Peak, a mental representation is a mental structure that corresponds to an object, an idea, a collection of information, or anything else concrete or abstract that the brain is thinking about. In lazy people land, that means that a mental representation is like a picture or an idea in your mind. It's how your brain remembers or thinks about something, like a person, place, a thing, a feeling, or a thought. When you look at a music score, your brain starts making mental pictures and ideas to understand it. For example, you see a note and your brain thinks, this is a sound I need to play. You see a rhythm and your brain imagines the beat or how long to hold the note. You see symbols and your brain remembers that they mean like loud, soft, fast or slow. So your brain is turning what you see on the page into what you hear or do, like pressing piano keys or blowing into a flute. That whole process is your brain building mental representations of the music. It's like turning sheet music into a little concert inside your head before you even play a note. Tip number 2, find your sweet spot. The sweet spot isn't so sweet, let me tell you. As a lazy practicer, I usually lean toward the comfort zone, which Daniel Coyle explains as having sensations of comfort. Everything is done with ease and it's effortless. You're working, but you're not struggling, and you're chilling. You don't feel like garbage. I hate to break it to you, but you're not getting anywhere in your musicianship if you're taking the easy route, pal. Sweet spot is that moment where you get annoyed you aren't getting whatever you're doing right. So you crash out a little, you get a little frustrated, and that's the perfect spot you should be in when practicing. Funny enough, a little struggle is good, and it makes you feel so much better when you start to understand the material you're struggling with. And it's not as hair yanking or head banging at the end of it. But be careful. You don't want to mix a sweet spot up with the survival zone. The survival zone is where you start to go insane. Running off probably no sleep and crying here and there and just guess things because you've given up on doing a good job. There is a big difference between the two, and if you end up in the survival zone, put the instrument and the music down. Like, take a break, go and eat, take a nap. Don't overdo it. It's not worth it. Your mental health is so much more important than an Italian opera. Tip number 3 is break every move down into chunks. We all love chunking. It is the easy way to practice. That's what everyone says, but it's also the most effective as well. I know I use it, and you can do it literally anywhere as long as your score is divided up in chunks, which you can do in tip number 1. Chunks are just small sections of your pieces that you divide, so you can work on and perfect each one until your piece is up to your standard. It's an easier way to practice and helps you not crash out and burn into the survival zone. You can do chunks in many different ways. You can chunk big sections, little sections. You can play them from the end of the piece to the beginning, from the beginning of the piece to the end, fast, slow, medium paced. You can take notes and put them back in after. There are so many ways that you can chunk your pieces. Like I said in the first tip, if you divide your score into chunks first and practice that way, you learn so much faster and there is so much less stress in the practice room. Tip number 4, choose 5 minutes a day over an hour a week. So this is a way that I like to practice during my very busy weeks, where I can just easily have everything nice and calm, gentle, and I don't feel like I'm overwhelming myself, but I also feel like I'm staying on top of my game. So instead of having one good practice throughout the week, I think it's important to get a little practice in every day, even if it's only 5 to 10 minutes a day. The reason this is so important is because you should always keep the material you practice fresh in your mind. If you only practice once a week, you're risking forgetting about what you learned by the end of the week, and it'll cause you to be further back than you want to be on your journey. If you practice each day, even for a little bit, you're keeping the information you need fresh in your brain, which leads to better performance and much more confidence in lessons as well. I know for a fact that if you don't practice all week and only have one good practice session, your performance class will haunt you, because improving, it does not happen in 1 hour. The final tip that I wanted to talk about today is take a nap. Thank you so much for watching my lazy practicing guide. Remember that you can do any of these tips and tricks in bed. Thank you.